my name is Greg and I'd like to speak with you about Jesus. Okay, it's not going to be like that. But I wanted to do a video just because it's easier just to explain some of this stuff than to read, and it gets boring reading. So, just going to go over something really quickly, and in the future I'll do quick videos like this. I don't know how to do graphics and everything, so I have this board that I wrote on. So, really quickly, a lot of people, agnostics, atheists, to me they've asked, they said, why should I believe Jesus? Why should I believe the Bible? Jesus, we don't even know if he existed. We don't know anything about back then. It's all hearsay or legends, this and that. Well, the thing that's amazingly cool is that there are so many references to Jesus, the historical and spiritual Jesus, that are outside of the Bible. Secular, even hostile references to Jesus outside of the Bible, to where if you didn't read a page of the New Testament, not one page of the Bible, you would be able to gather all this information, and I'll go through a little bit of it right now. But without reading the New Testament at all, just knowing from other people, this is what it would say. Jesus was born and lived in Palestine. He was born to a virgin and had an earthly father who was a carpenter. He was a teacher. He was killed for his beliefs. He was a wise man who claimed to be God and the Messiah. He had unusual magical powers and performed miraculous deeds. He healed the lame. He accurately predicted the future. He was persecuted by the Jews for what he said, betrayed by Judah. And it gets detailed too, it's crazy. He was beaten with rods, forced to drink vinegar and wear a crown of thorns. He was crucified on the eve of the Passover. And this crucifixion occurred under the direction of Pontius Pilate during the time of Tiberius. On the day of his crucifixion, the sky grew dark and there was an earthquake. Afterward, he was buried in a tomb, and the tomb was later found to be empty. He appeared to his disciples resurrected from the grave and showed them his wounds. He then ascended into heaven. He and his followers had a high moral code. One of them was named Matthew. The disciples were persecuted for their faith and were martyred, but they never changed their claims. They met regularly to worship Jesus even after his death. So that's all that information you could gather without even reading the New Testament. And some of the references, I just wrote some down. I'm not going to go through them all, but some of them, Thallus, Tacitus, Phlegon, Josephus, all these people had different accounts and different references, like, say, Thallus, 52 AD. He attributed to the sky getting dark when Jesus died, when he was executed, the sky getting dark, he attributed it to a solar eclipse, which, through science, that's not what it was, but the fact that he referenced, he's like, yeah, the sky got dark. It was a solar eclipse, but it got dark. I mean, that's crazy in itself. Tacitus talks about the earthquake throughout Jerusalem and Judea, all that area. So you'd say, okay, that's kind of a coincidence. But then if you go onto the government's NOAA site, NOAA, and look up all the earthquakes in the world throughout history, in the year 33 AD, there was an earthquake in Jerusalem. I mean, that's not a coincidence. That's pretty incredible. So you have all these, and Josephus was a big one, because Josephus, every scholar basically takes Josephus's accounts. He was a historian, a Jewish historian, that just took accounts of everything. And there's no scholar that doesn't agree with him in his accounts of everything, but he was born about 5 or 6 years after Jesus' crucifixion. So this was what people were talking about. And he went through everything and accounted for it. It's pretty remarkable. But the biggest thing to take away from this is that, yeah, Jesus was real. Spiritual and historical, it's just fact that he was real. But when you get into the more details of the references, it's kind of hard to dispute. If they're all from these different places, some hostile against Christianity, all these people talking about the same thing, you gotta think. So again, I will do videos like this every once in a while, these high production values, it's what I shoot for. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. God bless.